So the next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is our reaction to the Mayweather Paul card, and basically we're just reaction to anything, but also to the main event. I'm gonna start this one off with Trill Dollar Bill. What was your reaction to the card and the main event?
Um, the card. You know what? I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at anything. Shout out to Ocho Cinco. It was good seeing you in there. You was doing your little bucket list thing. You had T.O. with you and all that. And and I see when people was trying to talk to you, you just wanted to talk straight to your lady, let her know that you was okay. Baby, he hit me hard. You know what I'm saying? Went straight to anybody else was talking to, he went straight to his lady. You know what I'm saying? Talk to her. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. Badu Jack, it was good seeing him in there. He said he's moving up to weight. That was good. It's good seeing him get his showcase. And he said something in there that I thought was so dope, right? We always saying, poor Badu, right? Poor Badu, because he done had a tough break in boxing. But he said something to me that was very inspirational. He was like, it's not poor Badu. He said, this is just God's plan. This is what God's plan. He was really positive about that, and I thought that was awesome. As far as with Floyd and Logan, I wasn't mad at that. I love seeing Floyd. I don't care when it is. Whatever. I love seeing Floyd. Like I love seeing all the other champions. I love seeing Floyd, and I'm not mad at him. If he was going in there, he was able, like I said, this is a legalized bank robbery. He even co-signed what I said, and he called it a legalized bank robbery. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. I'm not mad at him going out there and go get some easy money. Plus, putting a little licking on the kid, teach him some respect. Because he actually, the kid, Logan, has been very humble since Mayweather put them paws on him. He's been very different, and I like that. One thing that I did want to mention too, sorry to blabber on, I just wanted to say, my heart goes out to, I want to say, for my brothers here at Boxing Bros, and for me and my family, my heart and respect and love goes out to Jared Hurd and the Jared Hurd family. I wish that you would have took more time. But I'm going to keep the same energy. That's what I always do. I excused when Leo Santa Cruz lost against the Jackal, Carl Frampton, that first fight, because I said his dad wasn't there. And I'm going to excuse this loss from Jared Hurd as well. He just lost his dad March 11th of this year. And I know how difficult that can be when you're so used to having a person in your corner and you can hear them, and certain things, when you're in a tough situation, you look for that person. And I know Hurd probably thought he was ready to get back in there, but once that fight started getting thick, I know he was trying to hear for his dad. He was trying to listen out for his dad. And things happen, like a certain a sound, a smell, a song can bring up a memory, and it can totally mess you up. And I just wanted to say, because I kept the same energy with everybody else, Jared Hurd, my heart goes out to you. I feel your pain. I know how it feels to lose a father, and I know how it feels like when you go out there and you're expecting to hear somebody's voice, and you get so used to hearing that, and it's not there no more. You feel a certain way. My heart goes out to you. You're a warrior because you still went in there. You made no excuses. I just wish the next time that you do take the time that you really do need to heal, my brother, because I really believe that was just so soon. March 11th of this year was way too soon. It was way too soon. And I think that if you take some time and you go in there again, I really believe that you can give a better effort than what you did. But not to get too emotional, I'm sorry, fellas, but my heart just goes out to Jared Hurd and his whole family, and rest in peace to your dad.
All right, G.
I'll start off with saying, like, for $50, I actually enjoyed myself. for last Sunday, right? And I'll say this: in 2021, Floyd still brings him out. I'll be watching all the time, every week. You know, it's usually just me and Stretch. You know what I mean? Like maybe sometimes Ned shows up. During this Mayweather fight, like 8 of my boys showed up. Half of them didn't even call me to see if they could come. They just showed up. Like Mayweather's fighting, yo, we in the building. So Mayweather still got it, man. I must say. So that was one thing. Now, in regards to the fights, Ocho Cinco impressed me a lot. You know, like he actually looked like a boxer. I thought, you know, going in there, I'm like, I don't know, bro. You sure you want to do? You didn't see what your man, like, you know, what happened to Nate? You know what I mean? But he actually came in. He did good. You know, he maintained a good jab. He got caught one time, but he got right up. So I was like, you know what? Hey, he did his thing. You know. So salute to Ocho Cinco, Chad. You did your thing. The next one, all right, yo, salute to what Trill was saying, and sorry for your loss and all, but I'm gonna be honest. I knew this performance of Jared Hurd is a repeating cycle. So it's like I knew he was gonna come in there and do the Rocky Balboa style. I'm gonna keep getting hit until my opponent gets tired, and then I'm gonna try to take it. But what happens when the guy just keeps coming? And that dude Lewis, he couldn't even miss his overhand right. Jared Hurd was just getting punished, bro. And it reminded me when he fought J-Rock. It's just like, yo, you too one-sided, bro. It's like I'm not impressed with him at all. And that's why during our predictions, I kind of called it. I was just like, you know what I mean? He's just too much of a one-sided guy that just hopes. He just relies too much on his sturdy chin, you know, to win his matches. And at this level, man, sometimes you got to add some new skills, man. So, yeah, so I wasn't really impressed by him. I was impressed by the other guy who got that victory, and I was proud that, you know, the judges called it right, because usually, you know, they always go with the bigger names sometimes, and I didn't like that. But what's the kid's name? Louis
Arias.
Arias. Salute to Louis Arias, man. You know what I mean? Then Badu Jack did homie dirty, like. Badu, yo, you could tell Badu had some built-up frustration for Jean Pascal. So the free food that they shipped in for him, it is what it is, man. He had to feel that pain, you know. So I was entertained by that. And the main event with Logan and Floyd, man, honestly, I was entertained. Like, and to be honest with you, looking at the fight, I was like, yo, Logan's really, really big. Like, you know, so although we know that Floyd's way more skilled, way more talented, has a larger boxing IQ, just knowledge, history of everything, the pure size of it just made it a spectacle. So I was actually entertained watching Floyd, you know, trying to hit this dude in the face with a hook. I thought that was interesting because how big Logan Paul was, you know. I know there's a controversy. People are like, yo, Floyd kept him up because Floyd knocked him out and everything. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, man, I was entertained. So it was a good card, you know, good fights, you know, and I got my $50 worth. Honestly, even if it was like 75, I think I still would be like, hey, you know what?
You forced me.
I'm just saying, like, it wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad for an exhibition. It was cool. So, man, Floyd, man, hey, man, you want to keep the bank, you know what I mean? Do what you do. You still bring it.
Just real quick, I agree with the price point, G. I thought that was cool. $50. They didn't try to $100 us. Mm-hmm. But I also wanted to give a shout out to Steven Espinoza. The reason why, because I got an email saying that I was refunded for the fight because I didn't live up to the Showtime experience. So I was actually.
I know people got refunds because it crashed. You know what I
mean? Yeah. They actually refunded me even though I was able to watch the whole fight. Oh. So shout out to Steven Espinoza.
All right, Ned.
Man, Trill, you gotta share that link, or you gotta put me in touch with Espinoza because I need a refund on that fight.
You actually bought the fight?
I bought the fight. Yo. I had the receipts and everything, and I thought it was a waste. I was like, I should bootleg it. I honestly, I was sending out links. Soon as I bought it, one of my boys sent me the link. Like, yo, here's the link to the fight. And I was like, I wish you sent me that before I bought it. Like, I literally just bought it like 2 seconds ago.
At least you are.
And it wasn't worth $50. I'm gonna be honest. Like, honestly, I wanted Floyd to knock that man out, and Floyd carried the fight, literally. But just to see them sit there and talk like, "Oh, you ain't do this, you ain't knock me out, you ain't knock." Floyd literally knocked him out and then picked the boy back up and kept him in the fight. Like, it's not over. Floyd's literally coaching him through the fight. Like, it's like, yo, I'm gonna hit you, and then yo, get up, get back up. Like, he's holding him on the shoulder and everything. Like, come on, they hugging, but Floyd's literally carrying a dead body. So for me, it was entertaining. But I wanted to see somebody get knocked out. I wanted Floyd to knock this man out, but it didn't happen. Maybe Jake suffers the consequences if they ever fight. But the undercards, Arias versus Hurd, that fight surprised me. I tuned in a little late, and I thought Hurd was winning through because Hurd seemed like he was the aggressor in that fight, and looked like he was dominating in the rounds that I caught. But when they were said Arias run, I was like, and like towards the end of the fight, Arias was fighting back, was throwing shots, because he did get dropped at one point in the fight. I don't remember what round, but he did get dropped. But Arias came back and he showed a dog in him, and I was just like,
that was the rain. He slipped, man. Come on.
Nah, there was one where he really got knocked down. The ref didn't
Yeah.
so it was even out.
So I was just like, oh, I just didn't expect that type of outcome because, like usually fighters get knocked down. They're not the ones winning the fight. But, shout out to him. The Bottle Jack fight. Dude, what was hilarious was the trainer was like, man, keep your head. Don't grab. Stop hitting him below the waist. Don't hit him below the waist. Whatever the trainer. I was just like, yo, the trainer saying all that.
His name is Shane something. Yo, that dude is the one who was behind Mike Tyson when he's like, I'm the most vicious and ruthless champion ever. And he's smiling like, that's right. That's right. That's that guy.
He don't say nothing but repeat himself. He just repeat himself throughout. Like, yo, keep your hands up, keep your hands, keep your hands up. I'm like, man, I don't think he understand you at this point, man. So, shout out to Bottle Jack, yo. It wasn't the opponent you want, but you got the job done. And you got your shame on you, Jean Pascal, yo. We would have got a better fight. But I didn't get to see. I saw the knockdown, but I didn't really get to see the Chad Johnson fight because I was trying to find the link. But after all in all, I'm gonna say the undercards were good. I just didn't like the main event. I wanted Mayweather to really take this boy out, but it was still entertaining. It was still a good fight. Mayweather whooped that boy's behind, no matter what everybody else is saying. Like, oh, he didn't knock him out, but it was over. It was over before everybody else noticed. And yeah, but it was worth $50, maybe $30 next time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't charge more than 50, especially after the way people felt about the card afterwards. A lot of people say they like the card, but you got to look at who's saying they like the card. You're talking about diehard fans of boxing. And this was promoted to the casual viewers. I think G brought up a great point. Floyd still brings them out. You saw celebrities that you don't see even when some of these top fighters are fighting. Random people show up or hit you up about the fight because they want to see it. That lets you know what happens when you're dealing with someone with star power. See, we don't have anyone with star power anymore because people don't do what they used to do back in the days. The throwback fighters are gone. The people who capture the imagination of the public, the people who symbolize more than just what they're doing in the ring. And like in this card, we'll start with Chad Ochocinco and Brian Maxwell. Brian Maxwell was so happy he dropped Chad. Like, the people know who Brian Maxwell is now. I'm like, bro, like, you should be ashamed of yourself. Like, you dropped Chad, and I'm still more impressed with Chad Ochocinco than you. And I just think, like, if Chad Ochocinco had 2 more weeks, he probably beat you, Brian Maxwell. So you shouldn't really be happy. Jarrett Hurd Jarrett Hurd ballooned up to, they said 217. I know I said 190 because that was just an estimation based on what I saw physically, but they said he was 217. He lost a lot of weight, got into that fight. A lot of that weight was probably depression due to his dad passing, and then you have quarantine, which was depressing for a lot of people in itself. People are used to going out, doing things, and it's like now you're isolated in this area or confined to a home, and so that was depressing for a lot of people. So he wasn't able to make 154. He wants to go back to 154, but this was a pit stop at 160, and he's fighting someone who's used to fighting at 160, and the fight begins. Now, see, Jarrett Hurd's a perfect example of what can possibly happen to Deontay Wilder as well. Sometimes you switch your style so much that when you are in actual fight, you're trying to do something that doesn't come natural to you, and you're getting clipped. And he was getting clipped by Arias. And I scored at 96-93 for Arias. I thought Hurd was going to lose the rounds, but eventually stop him. And he could have. How do I know that? Arias admits it. Arias said in the fight, you could have stopped me, but you just didn't know when to go for it. And see, that's the thing that the old Hurd would have done, but I feel like him trying to be this new guy or whatever, I don't know. But there were points in that fight where I'm like, why is Hurd not turning up the heat on this guy? And I feel like it was partly because the new training and because he probably wasn't in the shape he would have been in if he was at 154, if he was in better shape. So he just couldn't turn it on. But I thought Arias won. I'm glad they gave him the decision because to see what it meant to him to win. When people were telling him he should retire, he should hang it up, this boxing isn't good for you. So in one man's defeat, you see another man's triumph. And that's the beauty of the sport. And Jarrett Hurd can bounce back. But just on that day, on that night, in that fight, it meant more to Luis Arias, and he pulled it off. Badu Jack cooking old buddy. Like Ned said, the most interesting thing about that was the corner man. Stop holding him. Just going off. And I'm just watching, like thinking, yo, some of these trainers y'all are hiring, you be better off hiring me. Like, no bull. You be better off hiring me. You actually look good. You actually get a real camp. Like, I'm just sitting there watching, like, how can this guy be a trainer? And not only a trainer, but a respected one. All right. When it comes to Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul, what you saw was Floyd landing the cleaner punches and Paul using his size. Now, people don't understand the size disparity was a lot. Like, it was a lot. And you don't see average people. So people are like, I'll see people comparing it like, oh, like, you know, Floyd's fighting a YouTuber. He's not just fighting any YouTuber, though. Like, he's fighting a YouTuber who's physically fit, 6'2", 190 pounds, probably was over 200 pounds on the day of the fight. You don't see people fighting guys that big, like, for a reason. And, like, Floyd had to win that fight and take very little damage. And for him to go all out the way you wanted him to go all out would require him to open himself up to someone who outweighed him by like 50 pounds. And if you think like that's a joke and that's a game, then that's on you. But at the end of the day, Floyd won and he didn't take a lot of punishment. And that's the name of the game. Now, there is that conspiracy going around that Floyd held up Logan Paul. And I don't know if, you know, for that little clip, I watched the fight. When I was watching the fight, I never felt like Logan was knocked out. But in that slow motion clip that everyone's going around, it kind of looks like he may have held him up. Regardless, I feel like this sets up something good because now people are saying, Floyd, just retire. Floyd, you didn't look good. So Floyd didn't look good, and people are saying, Floyd, you should retire. When they announced Jake Paul and Floyd Mayweather, a lot more people are going to give Jake Paul a chance to beat him now, right? A lot more people are going to be ready to buy that fight and look for Jake Paul, right? And so you're going to spend your $50 again.
Not me. I won't be fooled again. I won't be fooled twice.
So, you know what? I got problem with you. Leonard LB's gonna find you, bro. Like anybody else talking about bootlegging, he was on their ass. So watch out, Ned. I'm just
He
saying.
paid for it though.
I mean, yeah, this time. I'm saying.
Well, next time is next time, but this time he paid for it. So
Yeah.
why not just go to G's house, Ned?
Yeah, I didn't know G was hosting the fight. It was last minute. I just finished my assignment.
Ned is committed to stealing. You don't have to.
Man, you know that G watches the fight.
And you know,
Yeah,
I literally watch every fight.
But it was late. I was finishing up with some assignment.
Let it be OG.
And I was just like,
he's the type of dude. We know someone. Chill it out. We know someone. Dude got cake, but we will leave out certain stores and he'll pull like deodorant out of his pocket and be like, "Why don't you just pay for that?" Yo, dog, you know what I'm saying? It was just there. You know,
you gotta be Robin Hood, man. You gotta give to yourself.
Yo, it's just like, yo, you just committed to doing stuff you don't need to do, right? So it's all right.
Fix your face, G.
Let us know how y'all feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. June 20th, Father's Day, is Trill Talk the mixtape. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. It's the Boxing Bros.
You're welcome. You're all welcome.